The housing market. You may have heard all kinds of things splattered out on the news of what's going on in the housing market. But did you know that the housing market is actually hyper-local? Let's talk about that. Before I dive in to comparing what's happening nationally versus in the Atlanta area versus in Peachtree City, let's talk about the statistics we're going to cover. I'm going to cover median sold price. Why median? It's in the middle of the data set, and it's a better indicator of what's happening to the pulse of the real estate market. Average can be skewed based on the data points when you're pulling an average. And when you're trying to do a year-over-year comparison, the range is, price ranges that the house is sold in one period compared to another can be varied. You could wind up selling more luxury homes and it could skew the average, or you could wind up selling more lower priced homes and skew your averages. So that's why we're going to focus on the middle of the data set, because we can see a tighter trend going on there. We're also going to be talking about month supply. Month supply literally means if we were to not list any more houses on the market, how many months would it take for us to sell out of all those houses? A balanced market is 6 months. Anything from 5 or less is going to be a seller's market, and anything like from 7 or more is going to be a buyer's market. And really, month supply is just an indicator of demand versus supply. You've got your economics 101. Now let's talk about the period that we'll be talking about. As of this recording, they have not released February's numbers yet. So we're going to be looking at January 2025 compared to January of 2024. So what happened this time last year versus what's happening this time this year. So let's first dive into what's going on nationally. The median home price is $396,900. This is up 4.8% compared to this time last year. Month supply is 3.5. So from a national standpoint, we are in a seller's market. Mortgage rates right now are pretty stable. They're in the high sixes, so like 6.5 to 6.9 area. They've been pretty steady. Really, the only reason why we would bring them down is if inflation decides to increase, then they would lower the interest rates to kind of work on the inflation. So I don't see them dropping dramatically low. When you compare looking over all the way back to the 1980s, the average interest rate is around 7%. So I think that's just where we're at right now. We're going to be hanging out in the sixes for quite some time. The overall market outlook is that inventory is increasing, and we would expect to increase more as we go into the spring because real estate is cyclical. We tend to sell more houses in the spring and summertime than we do in the fall and winter. The school system mainly drives that because people want to get their kids into a certain school system over the summer. And we do see a slight increase in pricing, but what I would consider a healthy increase, right? Not anything dramatic. And affordability may remain tight to some areas. Again, this is very market specific because if you were to ask me in our area down here on the south side of Atlanta, if people could get in a house around the $300,000 price range, I would say yes. We might not find it in Peachtree City, but we could definitely go on the outskirts of it and find a house in that price area, and that is a good first-time buyer priced home. Now let's jump into the Atlanta market. Our median house price is $388,548. This is down from last year, roughly around 6.8% compared to this period, and we're just looking at January to compare to January. That number might change as we move forward into the spring market. The number of sales is actually increasing compared to this time last year. It's up by 31.48%. And Atlanta is sitting at 5.1 month supply. So when you go and look at one of our multiple listing services and look at what their economist is saying, they feel like Atlanta's in a balanced market. Atlanta is also a huge geographical area. And it will depend on what pocket in Atlanta that you're in. You could be in a highly sought after neighborhood that might go to a particular school system, and your month supply for that particular neighborhood might be less, and houses might be going faster compared to other parts of Atlanta where you might not be in a highly desirable area, or maybe there's more condos around. Condos are really flat right now in the Atlanta area. So it does depend on your location in Atlanta, depending on how quickly the inventory is going out there. So if you're coming to the Atlanta proper, then really have to dig into that neighborhood so you understand what's happening in that pocket of Atlanta. But with that much month supply, that means there's more choice for the buyers out in Atlanta, and sellers will absolutely need to strategically plan out their pricing strategy, because what their competition is doing is key in a more flat or balanced market, because you want to price it right so that your house is not selling other people's houses because they have it in better condition and priced better. One thing about real estate is pricing always overcomes condition, always. Now let's dive into Peachtree City. And the reason why I picked Peachtree City, obviously it can't compare to Atlanta. It is a suburb in the greater Atlanta area. But I wanted you to see the difference in the month supply between Atlanta proper and if you decided to buy out in the suburbs. Now, Peachtree City is probably one of the more pricier areas to be in if you're looking on the south side of things. A lot of people are attracted to it, to the wonderful golf cart lifestyle that it brings. We have a lot of retirees down here. We have a lot of pilots, and the movie industry is kind of on this side of town because we have a big old movie studio not far from Peachtree City. With that being said, you can easily go out to surrounding areas such as Fayetteville, parts of Tonya. You could look at, go over into KOCiB County and look into Noonan and Sharpsburg and get a little bit more bang for your buck. So let's just look at the comparisons though, because I wanted you to see coming out to the burbs that it's truly every little pocket is different, and you really have to hone in on that area. In January, the median home price was $495,000. This is slightly down by 4.9%. I would expect us moving forward that this would increase. Again, we're coming into the spring market, which means more houses will be available. Compared to this time last year, the inventory has grown to 31.4%. So it has also increased. That means there's more houses on the market, more houses for buyers to choose from compared to this time last year. Now here's a cool little statistic. The month supply is around 2.3 month supply. So that means if we didn't list any more houses in Peachtree City, take 2.3 months to sell out of them. Isn't that interesting compared to Atlanta? Atlanta's more balanced than Peachtree City is. We don't have as many houses to choose from. We are going to sell out of our inventory quicker, so I'd expect our days on markets to be less in this area than Atlanta. Does this mean we're in a hot seller's market? It does not. When you're not in a hot seller's market, you may have buyers ask for seller concessions in this market quite frequently. But we are by no means in a balanced market down here. And I even double checked because I was like, wow, 2.3. I compared it to all of Fayette County, and all of Fayette County is sitting at 3 months supply. So I would expect Peachtree City to go a little bit faster as far as selling their homes compared to other parts of Fayette County. Now, we may see a trend of people moving back into the city. When COVID hit, everything kind of went crazy and everybody could work remotely, and they're like, we're getting out of the cities and we're buying in the burbs and we're going to get a little bit more space around us. That trend may be reversing, especially since Atlanta is home to about 70% of the Fortune 500 companies, at least maybe if they don't have their headquarters here, they have a location here. And they are pretty much saying, hey, you got to get your butt back into work. We're not doing this remote thing anymore. And they may be a little flexible, maybe 3 times a week you're commuting and 2 you're at home, and some of them may be, nope, we're all coming back in. If that's the case, some people are going to get tired of the commute and want to go back into the city to buy. So we may see that as a trend. In Peachtree City though, because we have the airport down here and a lot of people live in this area who work at the airport, it's an easy commute from Peachtree City. Go up 85. Rarely do you run into traffic to hit the airport. And then if you do get past the airport, yes, you're gonna run into the crazy Atlanta traffic, but I know people who commute from Peachtree City to Atlanta. Worst case scenario, you could catch the MARTA and ride in. At any rate, it's a very easy city to get out of. So what's the key takeaway of all this? If you're buying, there's never a bad time to buy. People build their wealth through real estate. If you look at all the savings that you do, even if you have 401ks and all that stuff, by the time you get retirement age, the equity in the home probably is worth more, and you absolutely build your wealth through real estate. If you're in it for the long game, buying now as a buyer and sitting on it and waiting to sell later will actually help you build wealth, and at a higher rate than the stock market if you're in it for the long haul. For sellers, you've got to look at your competition and what's happening in the market and price accordingly based on the condition of your house. That's the thing that you can change as a seller. You can change the condition of your house, and you're 100% in control of the pricing. You are not in control of location, but price will always overcome a home that's not in the best condition, and it will overcome location if it's not in a great location. It probably just won't sell for top dollar if it's in a bad location, but that's just the fact of buying a house in not so great of a location. Now, what I'd say for buyers going into Atlanta, you guys might have a better choice of what kind of house to buy. And again, we got to look out for those pockets, because they could be pockets that move very fast. In Peachtree City, they're going fast. I would not wait around to put in an offer and think about it, because somebody could come right in and snatch it out from under you. Even though we're not really in a whole lot of multiple offers, there could be multiple offers depending on the house. At any rate, if you're in the market for buying and selling here on the south end of Atlanta or in the greater metro area, reach out to me and Tom. We'd be glad to help. And if you're a seller and you want to kind of know, maybe you're getting ready to put your house on the market, or you're wondering what you need to do to prepare, reach out to us. We can give you some great advice on how to prepare your house for the market and how you can get it sold so that you can make it to your next destination. I hope you found this helpful. Let us know how we can help. I will see y'all later. Bye. Are you digging the kind of content I'm producing? Then be sure to watch this next video. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That way, you'll be in the know when I release my next video.